This viral video shows the airline going down at a high speed before it actually crashed. All 132 passengers and crew on board died. This is the third deadliest air crash in China. But what actually happened that day? China Eastern Airlines Flight 5735 was a scheduled domestic passenger flight from Changshui International Airport, Kunming, to Baiyun International Airport, Guangzhou in China. The aircraft departed Kunming Changshui International Airport for Guangzhou, Baiyun International Airport at 13:15 and was scheduled to land at 15:05. The aircraft was scheduled to travel earlier from Baoshan to Kunming, but this segment of the journey was temporarily suspended due to low passenger numbers as a result of the COVID pandemic in mainland China. Contact with the aircraft was lost over the city of Wuzhou. At 14:22, while approaching its top of descent into Guangzhou, the aircraft entered a sudden steep descent from 29,100 feet. It briefly leveled off and climbed from 7,400 feet, 2,300 meters, to 9,225 feet, 2,812 meters, but then plunged downwards again, reaching a final recorded altitude of 3,225 feet, 983 meters, at 376 knots, 696 kilometers per hour, less than 2 minutes after the beginning of the descent, with a maximum descent rate of above 32,000 feet, 9,800 meters, per minute. At 14:23, the aircraft lost signal and crashed in the mountainous regions of Tung County, causing a fire in nearby vegetation. According to an astronautics and aeronautics professor at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, preliminary data indicated the aircraft traveled close to the speed of sound when it crashed. The aircraft's impact into the ground created a crater 100 feet, 30 meters, wide and 66 feet, 20 meters, deep, where most of the wreckage was discovered. The final descent and crash was recorded by a security camera at the premises of a local mining company. The video showed the plane in a near-vertical dive seconds before it struck the ground. Many smaller pieces of wreckage were scattered in the surrounding area. It was the first fatal crash involving China Eastern Airlines since November 2004's Flight 5210. The Civil Aviation Administration of China, CAAC, and the airline reported 123 passengers and 9 crew members to be on the flight, for a total of 132 people. All were Chinese. The occupants involved 74 families. The flight crew consisted of 3 pilots, 5 flight attendants, and an in-flight security guard. First pilot was 32-year-old Captain Yang Hongda. Second pilot was 59-year-old First Officer Zhang Zhengping, was amongst China's most experienced commercial pilots, with 31,769 flight hours. Third pilot was 27-year-old Second Officer, as observer, Ai Gongtao, with a total of 556 flight hours. Local authorities dispatched 450 firefighters to the scene of the accident. Rescue crews initially had difficulty accessing the site because of the forest fire. Aircraft wreckage and victims' belongings were found, but no signs of human remains were detected. Multiple reports say that the airplane was deliberately crashed. The cockpit voice recorder, CVR, was found on March 23, 2022, severely damaged externally, but the internal storage unit appeared to be relatively intact. It was sent to Beijing for data extraction. Mao Yanfeng, head of aircraft investigation at the CAAC, stated the flight had not encountered dangerous weather conditions. No components of common explosives were detected. Soon after the accident, it was suggested that catastrophic failure of the tailplane and sabotage were 2 of the possibilities regarding the cause of the crash. On March 24, 2022, a piece of the jet was discovered about 10 kilometers, 6 miles, from the crash site, initially giving weight to the theory of a mid-air breakup. However, Chinese authorities later confirmed that it was a winglet which was the cause of crash. On April 20, 2022, CAAC released a preliminary report regarding the accident, stating that there was no abnormality in the radio communication and control command between the crew and the Air Traffic Control Department before deviating from the cruise altitude. On the eve of the first anniversary in March 2023, the CAAC released an unusually short, 66, interim statement that the investigation is ongoing due to the very complicated and very rare nature of the accident. The CAAC released a statement in March 2024 reiterating preliminary findings from the previous year that there were no issues with the aircraft and crew. Early reports of the aircraft's flight data recorder pointed towards a deliberate crash from the cockpit. Flight controls were pushed to put the plane into a dive. Multiple reports also mentioned that in the moments just before and during the descent, there were no distress or mayday calls from the cockpit to air traffic control, nor any answers to the attempts from air traffic control and nearby aircraft to make contact with the aircraft. A video was released to the public on the day of the accident, showing the aircraft entering a steep dive before slamming into a hilly area. The actual cause of crash is not known till today. Some says it was intentional, whereas some says it was a technical failure. The aircraft involved was a Boeing 737-89P, 37NG, or 737 next generation with the registration B, 1791 and serial number 41474. The aircraft was powered by two CFM56-7B26E turbofan engines. It was first flown on June 5, 2015, and was delivered new to China Eastern Yunnan Airlines, subsidiary of China Eastern Airlines, on June 25, 2015. The 737-800 has a solid safety record. With 11 previous fatal accidents, the first in September 2006, out of more than 7,000 planes delivered since 1997. Boeing offered its condolences to the families of the victims and said that it was in contact with China Eastern and the NTSB. A number of world leaders expressed condolences for the loss of life incurred.